We are so glad that you are here tonight, and we'd like to welcome you to the Rocket Club Banquet. On behalf of the Rocket Club, the Board of Education, we do thank you for coming out tonight, but we thank you most of all for being coaches. We thank you for the time and energy that you put into this wonderful youth of this wonderful county that we all call home, Person County. And coaching, I know, is full of a lot of rewards, and we were just, Coach Phillips and I were just discussing, this is the largest turnout that we've had in quite some time, so we thank you for coming, number one. And we were trying to decide exactly what spurred it on, and we narrowed it down to two things. Either it's because we have a hometown hero coming back to speak to you guys tonight, or it's the first time since 2009 that the football team has made state playoffs. So we were maybe you guys will be back next year if it's the playoff thing, right? All right. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to get started, but we're going to go to the salad bar on your left, my right, and we're going to go across the room like this. Please do not get up until they take your order. So after they take your order, then go to the bar and then bring your food back and start eating. Okay? Yeah, the salad bar, not the bar, but the salad bar. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. All jokes aside, we do thank the coaches from the bottom of our hearts. We thank you for the time, the effort, the energy that you put into this, to the youth. But we also don't want to leave out probably the biggest key ingredient, and that's the spouses that are represented here tonight. If you're a spouse or you have one, give them an applause, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff that we do. And we thank you for keeping the home front down when your husband or your wife's away coaching. So we thank you so much for that. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Bratcher to come and give the invocation.
Thank you for being here tonight, for being a coach, a teacher, and a mentor to our athletes. I know that you are their anchor and that you're somebody that they can trust to be a very stable presence in their lives. I don't have to tell you, of all people, how important that is, because somebody plays that role in your life. And you are just paying it forward. And we appreciate the fact that you're paying it forward to our young people in Person County. We know that your game plan includes your commitment to creating the future. Sometimes I think that maybe you don't really, that you are so dedicated to what you do that you may not really understand completely, or at least forget day to day what you're really doing for those young people. But I don't want your students to forget. Just like you haven't forgotten. Just like Doug hasn't forgotten what many of you in this room did for him. Just like what Amanda has not forgotten what many of you in this room did for her. Creating the future happens through traditions that are part of athletics. Like throwing your principal in the air.
That's what you do.
And I want you to think tonight about whether your athletes know why those traditions are so important. Can they transfer the lessons of the traditions and the lessons of athletics to their life, both now and in their future? What you would do as a coach creates a culture of character, either by default or by design. People are carriers of character and of culture, both good and bad, and we know some of both. Let your gift to our athletes be a culture which is a healthy culture. Now let's look at some of those traditions. Why do we wear the Rocket uniform? Why do we have blue and white days? Do your athletes know that it's about teamwork, that it's about tradition and pride, dress for success, learning to respect a dress code, and having confidence in themselves? Why do we practice? I know Coach Klein said, oh, we're not going to have the banquet till 7, I got to practice. Why do we practice? Do they know it's about learning to get better at the game of life, at commitment in their careers and to their families of the future? And why do we touch the rock? Do they know it's about being a part of something bigger than they are? About courage in the face of adversity, about spirit, about attitude, about believing in themselves? Why do we circle together to start the game? Do they know it's about goals, about learning to win together, and to share their talent and their spotlight? Why do we shake hands with our opponents? A tradition that many have dropped. Do they know that that's about the dignity of mankind? That that's about unselfishness and humility and resilience? And why do we review films? All weekend we review films. Do they know it's about how to win and how to lose, how to evaluate and how to be evaluated? Do they know it's about accepting their own challenges, about ambition? Do they know that that's really about problem solving? Do they know why being an athlete contributes to being career and college ready? What game are we really preparing them for? What game are we really preparing them for? Please join me in prayer. Father, tonight we celebrate our coaches and their families. We're so thankful for the gifts that they give to our young people, for their true game plan. We're grateful that they believe in a culture of character that creates a future of success built on the principles of the rock. Father, you are our rock, and we pray that you will always be that rock to our young people in their wins and their losses of life. Thank you for watching over our children and keeping them safe, even when they sometimes forget your promise to be their rock. We ask your blessings on this food that we will share and those who have prepared it for our pleasure. And we ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen.
Have your attention, please. It's getting a little late, but I want to be sure to say, if you're in the process of eating, please continue to do so. And enjoy your meal from the school lunch menu. It is indeed a pleasure to be here tonight. It's an honor for us as board members to be here with such a distinguished group. And words can't express the appreciation that this board has for you and what you do for the children of Person County schools. So I won't try to bring up any elaborate words and sayings and poems and things like that. You as coaches are in the same position as you are as teachers. Lots of hard work and much unappreciated and not acknowledged for all that you do. But we certainly do. And the part that you play in our children's lives through the sport that you love and that you teach is one that they will carry with them for the rest of their lives. Because you're teaching more than the fundamentals of whatever your sport is. You're teaching other things like goal setting, teamwork, relationships. Most of all, I would say life skills. Being able to work with, get along with other people, All of those things are truly important, and again, you'll never be forgotten for what you do. You will always be Coach so-and-so, whomever you are. That is a part of what you do that will carry on through these children's lives for the rest of their life. So, again, words aren't adequate. Money would be nice. We don't have that either. But thank you from the bottom of our hearts for what you do. Tonight, we do have a few guests that we'd like to recognize. We have Ms. Margaret Bratcher, at Vice Chair. Ms. Frida Tillman, a board member to my right here. Ms. Jennifer Kafer, board member, there you are. We also have Superintendent Dan Holloman and Lori Stacy from Central Services. I'd like to acknowledge you. Tara Holmes, AP at Northern Middle. Thank you for being here. And all of you Rocket Club members that makes not just this event possible, but for the unending support that you provide for sports and athletics in Perkins County schools. I can say with assurance that the Rocket Club is one of the most admired booster clubs in the state of North Carolina. And look at the long list of what you have done for Perkins County athletics. It's long, and it does provide a lot of money, a lot of funding that otherwise we would not be able to do. Provide again for the students that come out for the sports that you coach. But to you Rocket Club members, we certainly appreciate all you do. One of our Rocket Club members loves us so much that he's become an employee of Perkins County Schools, but we appreciate it. And Dave Bratcher, WKRX, Channel 10, always providing the people of Perkins County some good footage about the good things that happen in Perkins County Schools. Again, thank you all for attending, and most of all, thank you for the job you do each day with the children that you coach. Thank you.
You know, I was gonna, when I prepared this, well, actually when Doug sent it to me, this biography of our speaker, I thought, well, I'm gonna take out every time he said his name in there, so I can kind of, maybe make it a mystery. But I don't know how I thought I would hide 6'8", now 235, 40 pounds, as he came in the room. I didn't know it was going to be like some sorts of a reunion either. I mean, he's hugged more people than the mayor and kissed more babies tonight. But tonight, we are excited and proud and filled with pride to have our guest speaker. He is one of our own, something that we all are proud of. He's a graduate from Person High School, where he was a North Carolina scholar. He was also a Person County scholar, a National Honor Society member, a Wendy's Heisman nominee, Golden Helmet Award winner, 4-time All-Conference in football, 2-time All-Area in football, and All-State selection as a senior in football as well. He went on to the University of Wake Forest, the Demon Deacon. He graduated from there in 2012 with a BS in Business Enterprise Management with a concentration in business law from the Callaway School of Business. He attended Wake Forest University on a full athletic scholarship, earning varsity letters for the 2007-2011 seasons. He was a Kingfisher Society Student Athlete Award recipient in 2011. If you don't know what that is, it's an award for exemplary character, athletic and academic success. Something that most universities are looking for nowadays is character. Doug exudes that. During his college career, he made the ACC All-Academic Team. He also made the ACC Honor Roll and the Dean's List. Now, Doug played in all 50 games during the 4 seasons that he attended Wake Forest University. And here's a stat that you can go back and tell your student athletes. This is one that really brings me the most pride. He never missed one day of practice in 5 years of playing football at Wake Forest. Not one day. Never missed a day. But his biggest accomplishment, he says, was meeting his beautiful wife, Sarah Beth. She's sitting to his right. And they now both live in Winston-Salem, where he works with BB&T and their corporate real estate team. He and his wife love to work out and spend time outdoors with their dog, Harvey. They're both big supporters of Rockets and big supporters of Wake Forest. And please help me give a big Rocket welcome. Back home, Doug Weaver.
Slide around here. Everybody doing all right tonight? Good, good. All right, so tonight, everybody hear me all right? All right, good. So tonight, I'm going to try to keep you on the edge of your seat, hopefully by having an interesting speech and not by you trying to fight the nerve to get up and leave. So I'll try to keep it short. I'd first off like to thank everybody for being here. It is my honor to be here and to even be invited to come back and speak to so many wonderful people that have meant so much to me in my life and where I'm at tonight. So I know that I wouldn't be the man I am today without many of you here in this room. I know it's been spoken to a number of times that you as a coach, as a teacher, are more than just that. Your students and your athletes and the kids that you touch, they're looking for something from you that's more than just education. It's more than just winning and losing. And so, it's a lot more than you can even really say sometimes. So I'm going to try to say that tonight. I'd first off like to thank my parents who taught me about integrity and loyalty and most importantly the golden rule: treat people as you would like to be treated. And but it works both ways, because I know my mom used to tell a story that she said, well, if you embarrass me, I'm going to go to your school and I'm going to embarrass you. So, treating people the way that you want to be treated is very, very important to life at school, outside of school, and every day. I'd also like to thank my wife, who continues to teach me every day how love and compassion, trust and honesty are the cornerstones of not only a beautiful marriage, but also of every relationship that you want and need and have in your life. So the last piece of that puzzle for me, I felt like came from my coaches. It's one of those things that, as a parent, you can tell your kids, you need to work hard, you need to work hard. Everybody wants to do that, but when they hear it come from a coach, there's just something about it. There's something about a third party being able to say, you gotta focus, you gotta get on it. And that's what I want to talk about today. Not from a field aspect, but from more of a life aspect. So I look at the word coach, C-O-A-C-H, and I look at character. Think about open-mindedness, also coachability, being able to adapt, accountability, being able to be at every practice every day, making sure that you're a man of your word or a woman of your word, commitment, and hard work. And so I'd like to talk a little bit more about not only how blessed I was, but that not everybody had the opportunity to have parents that wanted the best for you. And so sometimes you not only have to be a coach, you have to be somebody's role model. You need to be somebody's rock when they don't have that. And so not many people can put a price on that, but that's something that what you coaches provided for me was something that every kid is looking for. They're looking for somebody to care. They're looking for somebody that wants more from them, not only from an athletic standpoint, but from just being a better person. And if you can push kids to that level, that's what, to me, as a former athlete, that's what it was all about. And so, I also want to talk about success. and what the definition of success means. A lot of people say having an undefeated season, going to a state championship, being all conference, whatever you want to call it, whatever your form of success, having the most money, having the most this, whatever. When I searched for success, I saw a quote from John Wooden, who, if you don't know, John Wooden was one of the most legendary coaches in all of the NCAA. And he had one losing season as a player and a coach in his whole career, high school, college. He was a very successful, as what most people call a successful coach. His definition of success is the peace of mind, which is a direct result of knowing you made the effort to become the best you are capable of becoming. So that doesn't mean you won. That doesn't mean that you were the best on the field. It means that you did the best that you could do at that given day. And I want to take success from a coaching standpoint and extend that farther from the field and think about every day and teaching kids to be successful in life. Teaching kids to care about grades, to care about not just grades, but to care about knowledge. How can I become more knowledgeable every day than I was yesterday? Not I want to learn to pass the test. I want to learn this so I'll never forget it. And as an end result, they will pass the test because they made themselves better. And so I wanted to also speak about priorities. So when you think about trying to be successful in everything that you can be, there's not a lot of time in the day. Sometimes you get bogged down with, monotony of whatever it may be. So there was a story about a philosophy teacher put an empty jar in front of his students, and he filled that jar with large rocks. He filled it all the way to the top. And he asked his students, is this jar full? And they said, yeah, it's full. So he pulled out a jar of pebbles that were much, much smaller, poured it into the jar, and it filled up the space that the big rocks left. He said, okay, now is it full? And they said, yeah, golly, you can't put anything else in there, man, it's full. He takes out sand, and he pours the sand in there, and that fills up even the other space that was left. And so what you need to think about is the rocks are the pieces that you need to spend the most time on, the things that if everything else is taken away, that you have a very fulfilling life. Spend your time with family, with your relationships, with health, with knowledge. The pebbles comes into sports and trying to hang out with friends and trying to do certain things. But those things should be your priority. And the sand is the little things. What kind of outfit am I going to wear? What kind of the stuff that's not that big of a deal. But if you fill your jar with sand, there's no place for your rocks and your pebbles. So you need to prioritize where you spend your time and how you do that. And from a coaching perspective, teaching kids to prioritize their family, their education, and also sports. I mean, that's what they're looking for. That's what they want. And so I would say that priorities are a big deal. So go back to coach and what that means. The first C is character. Obviously the golden rule, I think everybody knows about that. But no one is ever going to lay on their deathbed and go, I wish I hadn't been so respectful to everybody. I really wish I'd have been more of a butthole to people. That's not what anybody's looking for. People want to be remembered because of what you did for those. I mean, even if they don't do it back, it's no sweat off my back, man. I mean, I did the best I could for you, and if you don't want to reciprocate, that's fine. But you can go to bed at night knowing that you treated everybody that's around you with respect. And from a coach, that's what you need to treat your kids with. And that's what your kids want to have, is somebody that is respected. I mean, yes, you have authority, and I tell you to go do that, but instead it's, I want that for you because of this. because I respect you enough to know that this is what's good for you and this is what you need. And so I would say characters is such a big, important role. Open-mindedness, also I call it coachability, being able to adapt. And Charles Darwin once said that it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It's the one that is the most adaptable to change that will survive. And so from an athlete, being able to have a mindset of this is what I do and it works for me. You know, being a coach and being able to try to open their mind to say, I know what will help you. I know what will work, and trying to take that into the classroom. I know what my study habits need to be. This is what, and I know how I need to treat them. Being open and trying to push that onto kids and make sure that they're open-minded and want to receive your help is very important to me. Accountability. I think there's not many things in this world that you have full control over, but I think that one of those, in my opinion, is being a man of your word or being a woman of your word. You say you're going to do something, do everything you can to do it. If you can't make it happen, let whoever you told you were going to do it, let them know why you couldn't make it happen, but do everything you can to be accountable. And it's not just enough to say, I'm going to do it, and tell your kids you need to go do this and this is how it is. You need to live it. You need to show it. You need to show them that if I'm on time, you need to be on time. If I tell you to go run sprints, I'll go run some sprints with you. Like it's being accountable is much more of a life lesson to me than just sports. And so I think that that's a big piece that kids are looking for and need as well. So I was really first introduced to accountability by Coach Harris. I was going into my sophomore year and I played defense my freshman year, and he said, Doug, we need you on offense next year. All right, Coach. Your footwork's terrible. It is just terrible. Okay, Coach. Well, let's get to work on it. All right, Coach. So I'm going to be at your house at 5:30 in the morning to pick you up, Doug. God, all right, Coach, if you say so. And he would pick me up and take me out to the high school, and we would work together. And he said, you know, if I'm up, he was probably up and already read the paper by the time he came and got me. But he came and picked me up and said, if I'm up, you need to be up. And let's get going. Well, where the story really takes a turn is when we were finished, he said, all right, how old are you? I'm 15, Coach. So you don't have a license? No, sir. All right, you're too dependent on your parents. I'd like for you to run home. I'll pick you up, but you run home. Yes, sir, Coach. So not only was he trying to teach me how to be accountable, wake up, certain things that every high schooler needs a little help with sometimes, he was also teaching me how to be accountable as a man, how to not need everything from everybody to take a little initiative on my own. So that's a life lesson I'll take with me, and I'll never forget that. Commitment is so important, and I think commitment not only to your team, but also to your education. Kids, everybody used to ask me, well, what's the, how'd you get into college? I mean, did you work hard? Heck yeah, man. I mean, you gotta work. You gotta be wanting to do it. You have to be wanting to go to class, wanting to make good grades, wanting to do well in school, or do well on the field. I mean, you have to be committed to that idea, to that sport, but you also need to be committed to everything. Be committed to your friendships. Be committed to your parents. Be committed to everything in your life that you can be, but also be committed to, I said it before, knowledge. Knowledge is power. Being able to be knowledgeable in every aspect of life. And if you go back to the definition of success, it is being better than you were yesterday. So in theory, you would constantly, every single day, there's something more you can learn. There's something more that you can be better at. There's something else out there. And so it's for the rest of your life, if you work on being more knowledgeable, you will see so many doors open for you, and teaching that to kids at a very early age and wanting that for themselves is such an important piece. And last but not least is the H, it's hard work. I will argue with you to the end of time that hard work can be replaced with talent. I think that hard work is by far the most important thing that anybody can do. Someone once said that Tiger Woods was just, arguably one of the best golfers of all time. That he was just a golf prodigy, he had all the talent, he had all the right body movement, whatever, okay? He's got all the right stuff. I heard a statistic that by the time he was 9 years old, that he'd played more rounds of golf than most adults play in their entire life. At 9. He put in the work. He put in the hard work to be where he is and where he got. So yes, talent has something to do with it, man. I'm not saying that. But if you take your God-given ability and work at it day in and day out, you can make yourself the best you can be, which is what success is. It's not comparing yourself to that guy or that girl or that. It's making yourself better each and every day. And so that to me, and I'm glad I wrote this down. I remember Mark Litchfield was my wrestling coach in middle school, and I remember his practices were brutal, and they were brutal. And so, and I think they still are in high school now. They're bad. So I remember one day we were all kind of yelling at him like, "Yeah, Coach, we need some water, man. We're dying." He said, "Well, you're not gonna get any water in the middle of a match. So what are you going to do then?" So, well, I guess I would have to wait till then. He said, "Well, you need to wait till the end of this. You need to work hard, make your practices, make your daily lives a little bit tougher so that your competition seems like it's a little bit easier because you prepare for the absolute worst so that when the time comes, you are prepared for whatever smacks you in the face." And so, again, I will argue with you all day long that hard work is so important, and it's more important than talent in my mind. So, I alluded to it before, and I think that I wrote down showing, not telling. I think it's very easy to tell somebody, you need to like school. You need to do, you need to be on time. You need to work hard. You need to do this. You. But I feel like what I respected the most from my coaches were the coaches that showed me how to do it. The coaches that lived their lives the right way, who wanted more from each and every player as a person. And seeing that kind of sensitivity to a young kid who may not have, and I saw it, not even for myself, I saw it from other kids. I know for a fact there's a lot of coaches out there, Coach Obi included, man, that, there was a lot of kids that really needed somebody to be there for them. And he not only told them how to talk the talk and do all that, he walked the walk and showed us how to be tough. He showed us how to be a man when it came down to the crunch time. And as an offensive lineman, that's what it took. Being tough, being hard, being nasty. But physically showing somebody how to walk the walk is a different story than telling them how to talk the talk. And so I would ask that of coaches here tonight to think about that when you're talking to your kids and showing your kids how to believe in more than just the win and loss column, how to believe in more than comparing yourself to another team. Like, I know you're getting ready to play Hillside, but it's not about the Rockets, Hillside. It's about how do the Rockets be the best team that they can be on that given night. Another quote that John Wooden said was, if I can tell by your attitude the outcome of the game, you've got the wrong attitude. Because there's always There's always benefit, whether or not you get your butt whooped, there's always somebody that did something great. There's always somebody that worked their hardest. There's always somebody. So it's easy to get wrapped up in the win and loss column. But really and truly, from an athlete, that's not what kids are looking for. The kids are looking for the stability from their coach to teach them how to be better people. And so, let's see here. Again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. If you take that definition of success and work it into your lives, your kids will see it. You'll see it in the classroom, you'll see it on the field, they'll see it everywhere. And so, another quick story, and I'll try to wrap it up here. The quick story about success in general is there was a guy who went to this guru who was, it's just a story, this isn't true life. So there's a guy who went to this guru who was a very successful man. He was successful in all of his life and his finances and everything. And so this guy walked up to him and said, I need you to teach me your way. Like, I want to be successful. Teach me how to be successful. He said, okay, if you really want to be successful, I'll teach you. I want you to meet me at the beach tomorrow at 4 a.m. Guy's like, okay, that sounds crazy, but all right, here we go. Shows up in his suit, ready to roll, and the guy said, all right, I want you to go ahead and start wading into the water. I was like, man, I'm in a suit, what are you talking about? This isn't going to do anything for me. He said, you asked for my help, this is how I'm going to give it to you. So walking into the water, wades out, he's at about his knees. The guy said, keep on coming. He said, no, I'm done with this. If you trust me, just keep on coming, I'll teach you how to be successful. Waded out to around about his neck. He said, I'm done with this. I'm getting close to drowning. I don't want to do this anymore. He said, if you want to be successful, you'll follow me out here. He got out to right where the water was about at his nose, and the guru shoved his head underwater, held it underwater, just kept it there. And he popped up and he gasped for air. And he said, what did you want most when you were underwater? He said, what I wanted most was to breathe. I couldn't stand to not be breathing. It was terrible. He said, the day that you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe is the day that you will really change your life around and start to become successful. And so I leave you here tonight by saying, coach, word coach in front of your name should be the biggest badge of honor that any of you should wear. Because I don't care if I'm 112, I'm going to call each and every coach that I've ever had my coach. So I would ask that for all the kids that you teach and coach and work with on a daily basis, to try to earn the name coach, love being the name coach, and be proud to be a coach. Because it is so much more important than you could ever imagine. So, thank you.
And now I gotta follow that. Oh, buddy, folks, it's good that we get together like this once a year. I wish we did it more. I think it does us all good just to be in a room where everybody in here sort of knows what everybody else has been going through. Whether you're on the practice field, whether you're in the game, whether it's the spouse that's at home by themselves or trying to look after kids and juggle things. It's hard to keep 18 things juggling at the same time, but everybody in here has done it before. And we do it, we're just crazy or we love what we're doing, or a combination of both. And depending on what day it is, which way you might answer that question. But before I present the Coaching Excellence Award, I do want to thank again Superintendent, Mr. Holloman's here. Mr. Dennis couldn't make it with us tonight. Lori Stacy from our central service staff, all of our Board of Education members, Mr. Powell, Ms. Brasher, Mr. Wilkins, Ms. Tillman, Ms. Kafer, the things that they do to help us budget-wise, money-wise. You know, sure, it'd be great if we had more. I don't think anybody would ever complain about, that's too much. We want to give some back. But we're a small town, we're a small community, and be thankful for what we have. Don't worry about what we don't have. Also, some folks behind the scenes that I need to thank from the high school, Mr. Fleming and Mr. Rodeo. At Southern Middle School, Dr. Hill. Our AD at Southern is Sean Hatfield. Principal over at Northern Middle School is Krista Massick. And then Kathy Hughes and Dale Honeycutt split the AD duties there. The things that they do at the middle school level and preparing those kids as they move on up to the high school, getting them used to the practice routines, all the paperwork that has to be filled out with the physicals and this form and that form, all of that legwork starts in those middle school years. And that's one of the things that we can't overlook the importance of. And I appreciate everything that Sean and Kathy and Dale do to help us out, later on when they get to the high school level. Also, again, all the coaches and spouses, the Rocket Club members, Mr. Bradsher is filming everything tonight for us. Kelly Snows in the back does a great job with all of our coverage with the newspapers for the middle schools and the high schools. And last but not least, Doug and Sarah Beth for coming with us tonight. You did a real good job, son. I'm proud of you. Tonight, as I present our Coaching Excellence Award, this young man, and I say young, well, he'll get it. This year's Coach of the Year Award winner has worked with our student athletes in 2 different sports at the high school. He also helps sell tickets for a 3rd sport. In his spare time, he's also the advisor for the student council at Person. Last year, when basketball season was over, he decided he needed something else to keep him busy, so he wanted to coach a spring sport. And just so happened, we had an opening for softball, so he took over the softball team last year. And lo and behold, in his first year, they went on to win the conference championship. So this year, at our end of the year, the coaches' breakfast, when everyone voted, his coaching peers selected him as the Coach of the Year. And everyone, tonight, I'd like for you to help me present Mr. Prentice Hargrove with our coaching.
We named this amongst all the coaches in our county. I mean, we got some amazing coaches who do great jobs all the time. So I really appreciate
We also like to take this time towards the end of the program to recognize someone that really does so much for Rocket Club and in so many different facets. This award is voted on by the Rocket Club members, and the winner this year is kind of new to the Rocket Club, but has done a marvelous job in so many different ways, especially with the football concessions. They, if you don't know anything about the Rocket Club, we're all volunteers, and so that means you get paid nothing. And at the start of the season in the concession stand for those people, it's only about 125 degrees. And I'm not exaggerating, it's hot. So she has done a marvelous job at coordinating help and organizing that and making it work. This year's Outstanding Service Award goes to Miss Amanda Phelps. Amanda said she didn't have anything to say, except there's a blank piece of paper in the back, and she expects 25 to 30 names on it before you leave. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, it's been a good night here at the Rocket Club and Board of Education Coaches Banquet. We appreciate you coming out. And as always, it's a great day
Be a rocket.
to be a Rocket. That's right. Thanks for coming.